All right. Look at my staff. It does the glowy stuff. But yeah. Guys. Um, it's white mean. Um, I'm not gonna do the full trial. I mean, not trial. I mean, the full role quest story right, back with back. We're gonna do 3. What the heck is happening? Oh. Anyway. Oh, they must be talking about the fact that auto logout is coming back. Yeah, every new expansion, the auto logout kind of returns to, the deal. Ooh. Far from fall. Far from free. My fault. Oh, look who it is! If you're ready to lend us your aid, I will praise you of this situation. Not looking at a picture in the quest, kind of makes me want to do the whole thing now. We received reports of a creature believed to be a blasphemy stalking the streets of Alamigo. What? Troops have been assigned to track down and slay the beast, but they are likely to be casualties. And with most of our healers posted elsewhere, we have thought to petition you for aid. Oh man, that's a mean thing to say. Sounds like you need better healers. Soldiers, not more healers, but if I must, I would be glad to help. Once again, we are in your debt. You shall inform Commander Aldin forthwith. My comrades in the Immortal Flames will be glad to have you watching over them. As there have been no sightings of any blasphemy in our lands, we have joined our Alamigan allies in their hunt for the fiend. Oh, and Uda. Trouble is, the majority of our own healers are working day and night to treat the tempered Imperials captured at Pagaliv. For that reason, we too will be glad of your help. Your presence alone will be of great comfort for the troops, I'm sure. As time is of the essence, I ask that you make your way to the Alamigan Quarter and report for duty. Commander Alden is overseeing the hunt, and he will explain all upon your arrival. May Rygor grant you strength. Don't mind it. Ishgard. Oh, Ishgard's gonna be a wild ride. Considering because they're always in fear of something happening. That place would, I wouldn't be surprised if Ishgard got out and ran rather quickly with whatchamacallits. Mr. Stoppable, we were told you were on your way, but this is even quicker than expected. I'll tell Commander Aldalin you've arrived. One moment, please. What I need to do is get a, I need to change my character again. Glad you could join us. Ramon! It's Dad. Now that the far greater crisis has been resolved, we may and must turn our undivided attention to matters of a smaller, but no less deadly scale. I'd like nothing more than to hear about your recent adventures, but I'm afraid such pleasantries will have to wait. What the? As our man in Thavnir will have told you, a blasphemy is loosed in Alamigo. What in the world is that thing? Oh! When it first appeared, the city guard were able to get most of the bystanders in safety, and for a mercy, those caught in the chaos only suffered minor injuries. But the fiend managed to escape, has not been seen since. We must find it, and soon, for as long as it remains at large, every man, woman, and child is at risk. As was the case in Thavnir, the blasphemy's very existence seems to spur the creation of lesser beasts. The longer it is allowed to roam free, the more tragedy our people will suffer. Did anyone see the change take place? And there were several eyewitnesses who gave the same account. A man walking through the Alamigan quarter fell to his knees all of a sudden, and a moment later transformed into the monstrosity we now pursue. Or up for me. Beyond the fact he was a young Highlander, we know next to nothing about him. Even the descriptions of his appearance are too vague to help identify the lad, and we've no clues as to his name or background. For all we know, he might not have ever been born in Alamigo, might have been the son of refugees come to visit. There are other possibilities we're investigating now. That said, I doubt his circumstances are unique. Blasphemies and beasts are born when men are overcome by despair, and whatever drove him to turn likely could have done the same to another. Therefore, if we are to prevent future tragedies, it is imperative that we identify and address the underlying cause. Until we do, we have no choice but to deal with the afflicted, the only way we know how, by granting them a quick death. For now, I would have you join the hunt, and keep my men from falling prey to these creatures. Are you up to it? Mm-hmm. I have my flag. And as chances would have it, we just received word that a number of beasts were spotted on the outskirts of Alexandria. The troops stationed there have already put them down, but we're wounded. In the process. First and foremost, they need medical attention, and that's where you come in. I'll meet you there. Okay. Oh, cart. Focus. Things are getting crazy already. I haven't been in Alamigo's areas in a while, to be honest. Although the soldiers were able to lead the beasts away from the village and killed a lot of them, victory did not come easily. It's times like these that our lack of healers is most sorely felt. I dare say they've yet to receive any treatment at all. See to their wounds while I survey the area for any stragglers that may have escaped. Once I've completed my control, I'll head to the village to gather eyewitnesses' reports. Look for me there after. Wait. Is it this one? Oh! We're not gonna do the usual just target and heal? Gods be good, I feel reborn. Hold on, you're Ronald, aren't you? I can't believe it. You're the one who inspired me to join the Resistance in the first place. And now you've come to save me in my hour of need. I'll never forget this. Thank you. I saw them change right before my eyes. Those weren't monsters I killed, but innocent men. But it had to be done. There were others we had to protect. And thanks to you, I can continue to do just that. Once I've made my way back, I'll give a full account to families. They'll understand. For treating the wounds of those soldiers, you have my thanks. And theirs too, no doubt. It seems they were indeed successful in slaying all the beasts. Search is any indication, but we must remain vigilant. I've also spoken with several people who witnessed the moment of the transformation, though the ordeal has understanding and left them rather shaken. I hear you've been through a fair few ordeals yourself, Ronald. It's you. Aaronbald. He was he became wheelchair bound due to an accident. In the main story itself, if I remember. For me, I've been kept busy with this and that. Like getting the hang of this wheelchair. Obviously, it has its limitations. But it gets me where I need to go. Yeah, during the last patch of Shadowbringers, like part 2, I think, is when what happened to him happened to cause him to be in a wheelchair. It really messed with Alphino to the point where that's why he became a sage. I've been working with this new organization as well, which is what brought me here. But no sooner had I arrived than those locals turned. Regan, I heard you were there when it happened. What can you tell us? The ones who underwent the change are the very people we were trying to help. Perhaps I should explain from the beginning. The meeting Lace held in the Royal Palace marked a turning point for all in Garabania. It spurred us to open a dialogue with peoples and communities we otherwise would have shunned. But there's still so many problems to be addressed, and countless souls struggling to build new lives for themselves. I decided to form a volunteer group, the Silver Griffins. Our main concern is the welfare of Alamegans who sided with the Empire, for whatever reason, and helping them find their place in society. In particular, the surviving families of the Grania Lupi. But I thought you dispersed the skulls. I mean, despised the skulls. Victoriously, I've not forgiven him. I don't have that in me, and I doubt I ever will. But the memory of that day in the palace of Corridula, asking to be locked up again after saving us all, it stayed with me. Got me to thinking about why she and the other youths would commit such atrocities. Why they swear to serve the Empire. And the answer was simple, because they'd seen what we'd seen and suffered much the same. In a hell where all were condemned, they chose to betray one brother to save another. That's how the Garleans win. Not by breaking you, but by making you break yourself. By making that choice by making that choice the right one for a man at the end of his tether. Healing only begins with liberation, and some scars never will. And some scars never will, regardless. Those who return from foreign lands may have difficulty carving out a new living here, but the ones who pledge allegiance to Golemald, this is not the Alamigo we dreamed of. But after 20 years of misery, I'll not see it thrown away, because we can't come to terms with the past. That's why I formed the Silver Griffins, to see that no one is cast aside. It is a cause I support, and it's what brought me here today. I've been acting as a mediator. And in the short time he's been with us, he's proven himself a natural. But despite our early success, the families of the Skulls continue to refuse our help. I think I see where this is leading. They're the ones who turned, yes. It comes as no surprise. The kin tormented and murdered fellow Alamigians. Anyone with a conscience would feel shame and guilt. And for some, it might be too much to bear. I think I might know why they're turning us away. It's a sensitive matter though, so let's go somewhere we won't be overheard. It's about one of the men who turned. I saw his memories. Oh yeah, he's got the echo. With the echo? I'll not pretend I'll understand it, but tell us what you've learned. I only caught a glimpse, but that was enough. It was during the occupation. A man raising his son. Only the two of them. But they were a family. To keep his boy clothed and fed, he chose to side with the Empire. He knew what others would say, but he did it anyway. And so he was branded a traitor. Every day his son listened to the jeering, the insults, but there was nothing he could do. When he came of age, he joined the Skulls in hopes it would make life easier for his father. He never dared to question his orders, no matter how depraved. He died in the revolution, but not before killing his own countrymen. His father wept not for the betrayer and the murderer, but for the man he could have been. He blamed it all on himself right up until the change took him. I can only pray he and his boy had finally found the peace they were denied in life. Alas, theirs is an all too familiar tale. I cannot forgive themselves, nor can they see how anyone else could. Yeah, about that. If you turn into a blasphemy, that's it. Even if you're killed in such a state, in a form like that, you can't go back to the Sea of Ether. There is no afterlife, because what happens is the despair drains all your aether and your everything about you and just turns it inside out and into this monstrosity of just despair and loss. It's like the most perfect and twisted plan for the end singer. The sins of their kins weigh heavy on them. They think themselves undeserving of our compassion. If they carry on like that, they'll turn into beasts. We've got to help them before it's too late. Growing up half Garlean and Alamigo, I know how it feels to be shunned and hated, to hate myself. But so long as we give ourselves and others a chance, we can change for the better. While I know, and while I might not be as clever, eloquent as someone like Alphanode, I know I can make a difference. Yeah, your hands are supposed to wrap around those, you know. I might not be quite the swordsman I used to be. I'm still a fighter at heart. And I owe it to Avian Oli to make the most of this life so long as I've got it. We Silver Griffins give our all to see that no more beasts or blasphemies ravage Girobania again. So, Commander Alden, do we have your approval to continue our work? Of course. There's no enemy more formidable than despair, and I'd be a fool to refuse your help. That even a single one of our people has succumbed to this transformation is proof of our failure to protect them. Therefore, I pledge to Silver Griffins my unconditional support. Together, we will prevail. Now that we have Ronald on hand to aid the troops, I believe we are ready to face any beast we encounter. Though I fear it is only a matter of time before others appear. I ask that you lend the Silver Griffins your assistance in the meantime. Very good. For now, let's return to the city. I could sound like two songs going at once. Those who harbor guilt do so not because they are weak of heart, but because they have failed to meet the demands they make of themselves. Wow. It's the same for me, and I believe that my failures had led to the Sultana's assassination. Despair and self-loathing were indescribable. Yeah, can we not talk about that, please, Ralph? That was a disgusting time. I was fortunate that you and the other Scions came to my rescue, that I had friends who convinced me I was more than the sum of my worst mistakes. Now we must do the same for the people of Alameda. We must help them to heal and find the strength to, if not forgive, to come to terms with who we were, so that we can look to who we can be, who we should aspire to be. This is precisely why the work of the Silver Griffins is so vital. Though our problems are not new, the emergence of this deadly phenomenon means we cannot afford to delay addressing them any longer, and we will be better for it ultimately. Once we've decided a course of action, you'll be the first to know. Until then, may Ragor watch over and keep you. The Butcher's Blade. We were hoping you'd stop by. I'll show you to Commander Annalyn at once. Okay. You're a welcome sight as always, Ronald. Aye. And a lot happened since we last spoke. We Silver Griffins been keeping busy. As have I and my men, but I'm afraid we have little to show for our efforts, though. Although we've been searching high and low for the blasphemy, we've seen neither hide nor hair of it. Unfortunately, everyone else has had better luck. We've received reports of lesser beasts throughout Girobania, and putting them down is as important as hunting the blasphemy that got away. complicate matters, rumors have been circulating that these beasts were the Skull's kin. While this was true of the recent incident in Gear and Allegheny, we cannot have people jumping to conclusions, given what they might feel tempted to do. It has been decided to take these individuals into custody for their own protection, unless it's the safety of others. But that would only isolate them even further and give credence to the rumors, and it would cause them to go into despair because being entrapped. A recent unrest has hindered the efforts of the Silver Griffins to no end. Therefore, I ask that you aid them in their endeavors and see if there is aught that can be done. Also, you'll be joined by another volunteer. Try not to be too surprised. I thought I felt my ears burning. Fedora. I said I don't need a keeper. Did they pussy miss it? Did they ball? They did bullocks. Come on, don't be like that. This is what you agreed to. Besides, you never know. Might have need of a healer. There's none better than Ronald. He's right. You've earned a measure of trust, and this shouldn't be taken to mean otherwise. Because thieves are we now? Then there's no need for this silent collar, eh? We all know it's not coming off anytime soon. If this is how it's to be, then fine, so long as she keeps out of my way. I want the two of you to visit the Silver Crimson headquarters in Allegheny. Several relatives of the Crania Lupi have agreed to meet up with them, and we could do with a measure of precaution. If anyone so much as mentions the skulls, I'll deal with it, understood? Let's get this over with. She's as much at risk of turning as anyone. Maybe even more so. You don't need the Echo to see the weight she's carrying. She's still not got a handle of her own Echo either. Sometimes the visions come out morning, and with such force that it's all she can do to stay standing. There's no telling what might happen when she comes face to face with the family of her former comrades. So look out for her, please. Oh, don't worry. None of us have control. I wish there was more I could do to help out. But we all got our own duties, and I'll see them through to the end. So must we all. Follow Fedora's lead. We're counting on you both, but be ready to step in, even if she curses you for it. She's gonna curse us out. Yeah. So he has the Echo naturally, but Fedora has the Echo. It was surgically injected into her. The the Garleans found a way to extract the Echo from people that naturally had it, and then insert it into others. We need to actually teleport. Why am I flying? So yeah. I had a feeling Rabon would send you, Ronald, but as for her, If you got any complaints, take it up with the commander. No, no. It's fine. Truth be told, ever since that day at the Royal Palace, I've been thinking, stop. You don't want to say it, and I don't want to hear it. So no matter how I am, then. Out of water. We Silver Griffins have been working to support the relatives of the Crania Lupi. But one family has gone missing. There goes my chocobo. A mother and her parents who lived together under the same roof. One of ours paid them a visit, but they were nowhere to be seen. And when they went inside to check, they found the house had been torn to shreds. Thick gouges in the floor and the walls, made by a beast's claw by the look of them. They changed. You'd think they've turned. That's the most likely explanation. Please do what you must before anyone else is hurt. There's no time to waste. I'll head west and you head east. I think out of all the games I've ever played, out of all this, like, all of the stories that's ever existed, I've ever come across, ever read, ever played, I still feel like the incident with the light, Shadowbringer's story about the Light Wardens, I mean, yeah, the Sin Eaters, I mean, and the Blasphemy are probably the two most, like, twisted things I've ever seen. Like, the concepts of it. Like the fact that you could... Wait a sec. That's Dia 1, what? Don't I have Dia 2? Did Dia never get upgraded? Divine Protector. No, Arrow got upgraded. That's what it was. Yeah, Arrow 2 becomes Dia. Yeah. Yeah, Dia is the dot. In the dirt, you spy an envelope containing a crumbled, tear-stained letter. Dear Mother, I hope this letter finds you well. Time is short, so I must keep this brief. Although I have never done anything to make you proud, I promise you things will be different when the war is over. Until then, care and know that I love you with all my heart. Placing the letter back into its envelope, you turn your attention to finding the others. So that was the daughter. And there's the mother. Like, I kind of get it. I do understand everybody's, like, annoyance with white meat. I mean, like, healers. It's like, yeah, we just get two attack buttons and a dot. Like, just one single attack, one... and the dot. Like, AoE... One AoE, one single, and one dot. But you have to understand. You discover what appears to be a wedding ring, with the name and date engraved on the inside. With seemingly no more clues to be found, you decide to report. But yeah, Um, like, but even then, remember, we had a time. Remember, cleric stance was a thing. I never experienced it because when I played the base game all the way back on the PS3 era when it came out on PS3, I was a black mage. Okay, I still didn't have a clue what I was doing as a black mage, but when I played black mage through Heavenward as well, at least the base part of Heavenward, I never did patches. But then I deleted that character and made Ronald, and then ran through the game. And then I played Monk, but I did slowly learn about things and about other jobs. But it's like what people have been saying to healers during this strike. It's like, what you're asking for, you think you want it, but you don't. Because if you get it, you're not gonna like it. Because people think cleric stance, I think what it is people now who have never experienced it thinks cleric stance is just, because I've read about cleric stances, you go with the cleric stance and you get all these buttons and stuff. No, what it does is it just boosts your damage. But at the same time, all your healing abilities drop dramatically. You can't heal while you're in cleric stance. You can't heal at all, really. So you have to switch it on and off constantly throughout the fight if you want to do damage. Like if you turn it on, and that's the worst part. If you turn it off, your damage, your DPS goes down the drain completely. You have to have it on in order to do major damage, and turn it off when you want to heal. That sounds like a bad time. We don't want that. And plus, the people complaining about it don't realize the game revolves around Ultimate and Savage and Ultimate content. It's built around those two pieces of content because they are the hardest content in the game. Dungeons are a joke. So complaining about people clearing dungeons without a healer, that's always been a thing. Dungeons are super easy. If you want a challenge as a healer, you have to go into things like Savage and Ultimate. Then we'll see if you really want to still do this strike by the end of it. Okay? Were you able to find anything? Like, I'll tell you, I tried to heal Savage during Shadowbringers. And I got put in my place rather quickly in the end. I'm sorry to say. Like, I tried to do it as Astro during Shadowbringers. And I got put in my place rather quickly. Because I was told that, yeah, you suck at this. Yep. And I know I did. Because what it is you can't go into Savage and just start healing willy-nilly. No, you have to control your heals. You have to know when to heal and when to DPS and stuff. Just have your dot up. And throughout the fight, you have to realize, do you want to... certain actions, you have to hold until certain moments in the fight before you use them. Like, you gotta find the right time to use certain GCDs and stuff. And then, as we feared, I found and killed a third. He was carrying this. Was the father. A matching ring. I'll deliver these effects to their next of kin and arrange a funeral as close to one as possible under these circumstances. There's no changing the past. We'll always carry it and the scars. But no matter who we were and what we did, we're Alamegans then and now. The Empire was our enemy there, then, and now it's despair. Good words and deeds will serve us best in this fight. Weapons even an old man like me can yet wield. Next to the two of you, the missing villagers can finally be laid to rest, and the other silver weapons will redouble our efforts to prevent any further tragedies. I've finished checking the wares, sir. Everything's in order. Good work. Take a rest, lad. You've more than earned it. Keep this to yourselves. But Avret's younger brother was a member of the Cornia Lupi. He's exactly the sort of person we're trying to help. Like many of the others, he was reluctant to talk to us at first. After we gained his trust, we were able to help him find work. He's taken to it well. It's her, the butcher. As kinslayers deserving of hate and death. Oh no. Get back. Dora saved your girl's life. I know, but she's... It happened in an instant. That poor lad. But it had to be done, and what had the hesitation would have been much worse otherwise. Did you go out there, Fedora? And see to our wounds. I'll do what I can here. The thing is, it works so fast. That's the worst part. It's like, it works so fast. It's like an instant. All that Metron needed was like one moment. Just that one small moment for you to let your guard down and let despair in. And it's just like, you're done. It's over. I'm fine. Leave me be. I said I don't need your help. I don't need your injuries I'm worried about. Else, if you're here to patch me up, get it quickly. Oh, wait. Forgot. We don't do that, we do this. A Corio can't change its spots, and there's no washing the blood off my hands. Now would I, even if I could. Taking up Garlean Steel was the first choice, but not the last. Like the first kill, the hardest. Every choice after that came easier and easier until I stopped counting, stopped caring. You tell yourself it's right. It's for the greater good. You give the order, feel the ground tremble as the cannon fires, and when the dust settles and your own men are buried beneath the rubble, and you tell yourself, me too. I won't let it take you. That man in the village, I saw his past. I'm the one who killed his brother. I'll be alright. I just need a moment. Can you wait for me? With me? Everything the Skulls fought for, the sacrifices we made, the things we did in the end, was all for nothing. Sometimes I look back on the road I walked, and the bitterness I can still taste and wonder if I had grown up in another time, in another place, would I have done the same to a different people? Was it always in me to be me? All I know is everyone would have been better off if I'd never been born. Well, that's not how that works, okay? So get over it. But I was, and I dragged others into a hell of my own making. I remember those two brothers in particular, childhood friends of mine. The older one enlisted with me, but the younger, he would have never made it as a soldier. He was too kind, too good. As for Fred died at Sepla Imperialis, but his brother's still out there somewhere. Not that I've got the courage to face him after what I did. I hope he's found the life he deserves. I know. He's so tired to fall. I met a former skull called Hurdoff. Hurdoff, he's alive, but how? I'm glad he made it out, too, but too many others didn't. Too many others still need our help. I hope to make this blasphemy, and by Rago, I'll kill the bastard if it's the last thing I do. Anyway, that's enough out of me. I'll be heading back to the city to make my report. I should suggest you do likewise. Oh, excuse me. I need a drink of water. But I want to finish this. Water. Yeah, I ran out. It doesn't. It makes me unhappy. I've completely stopped buying bottles of water. I bought like a Brita filter bottle. I've just been filling it up every time, just downing water like crazy. Like, I've drank probably more water with this than I have bottles of water. Badola's already given her account, and I'd like to hear yours too. Okay? So she almost turned into a beast herself. We'll have to take that into consideration before sending her into the field again. As far as the events in Alagana are concerned, the two of you did well. Despite the appearance of several beasts, you were able to prevent any further casualties. However, this serves to confirm that those with connections to the cranial lupi to be considered at risk of turning. Over the years, many of them have drifted away from the larger settlements and have taken to living in secret. Others made their way to Uda as refugees, including some individuals of interest. As such, we'll be working closely with the Immortal Flames to locate and offer support to those refugees in particular. In fact, I plan to make the journey there for an audience with the Sultana. Once my preparations are complete, you might accompany me. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you. I think, no, we'll do one more. A new battleground. Here to see Commander Alden. I take it this way, please. You might want to help me, didn't you? Our request for an audience with the Sultana has been accepted. We depart. I'll share what we've learned since last we spoke. But blasphemy continues to elude us, all the while driving others to succumb to despair in turn. Even with Alamegan and Uldanan forces searching for signs, the beast and more potential victims, we've yet to discern a pattern in the chaos. Nevertheless, if our blasphemy is like others, its behavior is likely dictated by the passions and regrets of the man it once was. Therefore, any information concerning him and the life he led may help us to track it down before it strikes again. We don't want people to shun the families of the Skulls any more than they already are. But the fact remains that the vast majority of the beasts have been born from them. They're the ones at greatest risk of turning without question. Gorgola concerns me too. She came close to transforming once before, so I think it might be best if we keep her out of this after all. She deserves the chance to make amends. I'm inclined to agree with Marnell. She was able to resist the transformation and has shown no signs of succumbing since then. If she wants to do her part, I say we let her. If only I could get her... If only I could go in her stead. Actually, I was hoping you'd come with us to meet the Sultana. I believe she would benefit greatly from your understanding of the struggles our people face. You'd gain from the experience too. While she's not the sort to brandish a sword and charge into battle, discover she's a champion of her own arena. As brave as any warrior. I doubt she'd have much to learn from the likes of me, but it would be an honor to make her acquaintance. Bud and I will go on ahead and wait for you at the Hutstings Strip. We'll see you anon. So once I'm done this quest, I'm gonna stop, and we're gonna switch the game to something else. I just can't. I hate to say it, but I just can't sit here and play this for hours and hours and hours. I'll be honest, whatever's left during the weekend, whatever's left that I need to get done during the weekend, I'll do non-stop. Then I just need at least I just need one more day where I just don't play this, like another day or two. And before anyone says it, like that that I don't like the game 14, I don't know why you play. It's like it's fun. It's just I it's just one of those games where it's just like I can't just be sitting here non-stop playing it. I start to lose my mind. Master Papashan was just telling us that Nanamo, or should I say Lady Lilira, has gone on another one of her jaunts around the city. Oh, it is not my place to question her grace's judgment. I do wish she had consulted me before running off on her own. And perhaps I'm overthinking it, but it's unlike her to keep guests waiting. If I may say so, sir, a blasphemy appearing throughout the land. It's a dangerous time to be going for a stroll. I suspect that may be the very reason. She wishes to see herself how the citizenry fare in these trying times. Even so, it's downright reckless. We'll find her, though. Don't worry. No, I couldn't possibly allow such esteemed guests to. Come now. We might be here on official business, but we're old friends. As you may remember, I have a knack for tracking down errant sultans. Some might say that knack is a rather charitable. I should be glad of the assistance. I'll take a look around here. Quizzing the locals will give me an opportunity to learn of the recent going-ons in Utah too. Well then, there's no time like the present. Fear not. With me on the case, it'll be over before you know it. Once again, the Sultana just running around like in a panic. What's happening here? No, truly. What did you? And she ran out of the Lord's chamber wearing not but her knickers. So anyway. I got a stick. I got a stick. Anyway. It's been some time since I last combed these streets for young Lilira. As a matter of fact, Papa Shan and I would compete to see which of us could find her first. As I recall, most of the contests ended in my favor. The trick, you see, is to look past the disguise and pay attention to the gestures and mannerisms. Yup, the tiniest movement that might give her away. Come, I'll show you how it's done. Well, I'll tell you this much. If she's crafting... she's gonna blend in just fine. Most people just hang out at the market board, you know, Ramon. And just keep crafting. It's just the alley of crafting. That's all it is. Calm down. No one's gonna abduct. What? Okay, now you're just being silly. Maybe she's not here. She's learning. That's odd. I tried all her usual haunts. Unless she's hiding inside a barrel or something equally nonsensical, she must be elsewhere. Why did she choose now of all times to run off when she's been abducted of a beast? There's no need to assume the worst. She knows what she's doing. You're right. I know, but it's hard not to Or could she be... Come to think of it, something Papa Shan said caught my ear. He thought Nanamo went on this excursion because of the emergence of the blasphemies, me and the beast, to better understand how her people are coping with the situation. If so, she be driven to seek out the most desperate and destitute. Coral Lane, then. Might I ask you to lead the way? I'll admit my ability to track missing persons have been dulled somewhat. Lane has ever been plagued by pickpockets and the like. I'll watch your back, so go ahead and give it a search. Okay. It may not be immediately obvious. Conditions have improved considerably of late. Her Grace continues to support the rebuilding efforts in Garamania, which has led to the creation of jobs for many of the locals, both here and on the other side of Balsier's Wall. In every society, there are the haves and have-nots, and seldom is this divide more sorely felt than here in Oda. Many of the young and able-bodied worked for Lodorito as guards, though he earns more in an afternoon than most will in a lifetime. Yeah. There. Lady Lilira. What? Whatever are you doing here? And Ronald, too. Well, I am glad to see you both. Our meeting is not yet due to commence for several battles. What is the meaning of this? We were worried, and with good reason. These are far too dangerous times to be roaming about alone, Your Grace. Some things never change, but I assure you I'm quite capable of looking after myself in my own city of all places. More importantly, I wish to observe firsthand how the people have been faring of late, that I might be prepared to participate in our discussion later. But I have finished. You will be comforted to hear. And pray allow us to escape you more amendable surroundings. Would you care to ride on my shoulder? Certainly not. You have already attracted more than enough attention. He is right. She is right. Now apparently you can just run up here. I can stick. And it's all glowy. Get a glow. Get a glow. Hello. How did that sound right? I thank you all for making the journey here during these difficult times. And it is my pleasure to properly make your acquaintance. On behalf of the people of Aurosia, allow me to express my sincerest gratitude, continued dedication to our cause. Respect your grace, I'm just a soldier. Was a soldier. Still I say, Commander Alden would not make such a distinction, and neither will I. You yet serve your people and have provided solace to many of Alamigo's most vulnerable. And if we are to deal with this threat, we must forearm ourselves with knowledge. I understand you come bearing information regarding the blasphemy and its victims. We have indeed. Hence the need to locate families of the Crania members who have fled to Thanaland. There's no end to the struggle faced by Alamigan refugees, and those who once pledged allegiance to the empires are no exception. But rest assured that irrespective of their past, all will be treated with an even hand. All will be afforded such aid as I am able to provide. Magnanimous as always, Your Grace. Hey, so bold. I've got a question. What do you have in mind for those risk of undergoing the change? I believe there is but one recourse. Earnest and open dialogue. While some are born into unimaginable wealth, others suffer great hardships and oppression. The circumstances of our birth are beyond our control. Our fate's subject to the whims of the gods, some would argue. I once thought myself a prisoner to my fate, a figurehead, helpless to watch as my people starved, a powerless puppet. I wanted nothing more than to cast it all aside, to free us all, but failed for my naivety. And then was afforded a second chance for my privilege. The world is unfair, terribly so, but we have the power to push back against inequalities and injustice. If not, overcome them on blessed occasions, to love our neighbor and share in life's bounties, to open our hearts and come together as one. Cruel words were never spoken, but without the support of the people, such words are not but vain platitudes. I believe my recent attempts to make inroads with the monetarists have met with some success. Despite differing values on many subjects, we yet strive to find common ground. Common ground. We've been pouring all our effort into aiding families of the Crania Lupi, and while it's the help to agree, some have still succumbed in turn. Of course, they're not the only ones in danger. Alamegans everywhere, whether they sided with the Empire, fought for the resistance, or were caught in the middle, they all suffered. They all wake up in the night at times, haunted by memories of death and despair. We know that what can happen if those feelings are left to fester. The legacy of the Imperial occupation will not soon be forgotten, but rather than seek to forget, mayhap it is necessary to remember, to acknowledge and accept the truth of it, that they may properly mourn those they have lost. Aye, a remembrance. I propose we hold a memorial ceremony for those who died during the war. Everyone, no matter who they were or what they did, let them be loved, let them be hated, but above all, let them be remembered. And in remembering of the dead, in their honor and their sin, we, the living of Alamigo, may yet find a sliver of common ground. It's a noble sentiment, but bringing together people who have distrust one another and risk inflaming tensions could be a recipe for disaster. Then again, we can't keep ignoring the married in the room and do nothing to address this situation. As long as we leave it to the individuals to decide whether or not to attend the ceremony, I think it's worth a try. Organizing an event of this scale will require a great deal of effort, but I offer my full support. Once you know what's needed, come to me and we'll put the plan into action. obviously. Some will balk at the idea, which is perfectly understandable, so I'll be listening to their opinions as well. Raw, we want it to be a ceremony that brings Alamegans together. And I was wondering, Your Grace, if I might ask about your approach to talking to people, winning them over. As you can tell, I'm no politician, so I'd be grateful for any advice you could share with me. I would be delighted to. As a matter of fact, I have a number of matters I wish to discuss with you. Now, on that note, I suggest you and I return to Alameda. Sorry. I knew that was gonna go hit that note, but it never did. Alright, there we go. Wait, what? No, I don't wanna. I knew Aaron Vaughn would make. What the? What in the world? That was a massive long-range heal suddenly. What the? Somebody just healed me from like 100 miles away. I knew Aaron Vaughn would make a good impression, but he's outdone himself. Not only has he found a new avenue in life to explore, with considerable aplomb. And while his proposed memorial ceremony is bound to have its detractors, I have faith that many will come around. Not all, but enough, I pray. For our part, we must stand at the ready for whatever may come. I shall send word if there are any developments. So there's 3 more. We have a choice. We can do the rest, and then we'll go play the other game I want to play. Or we keep going. Or we go play that now. Part of me wants to keep going. I think it would be best if we keep going. We finish this.